but he's not dead. We're just gonna get right into it. I don't have the right equipment. I don't have a PC. In fact, let me just right now, I'm playing the Java edition of Minecraft on my Xbox Series X. I'm streaming it through Greenlight, which you can get on GitHub, on my MacBook Air. And then I'm recording that stream through OBS. On top of that, the camera is just my phone virtually transmitting its signal from the phone to the computer. So everything about this rig is not rigging. But here's the thing: I have an idea that I think is worth overcoming all these barriers technologically, right? And well, you know what? Let's just kind of start showing you what we got to see here. Okay, so what I've done is I've made a copy of a world that my siblings and myself, I've got four younger siblings plus, some significant others at this point. And we've been working on this same realm for about has to be close to a year. And it's, far from perfect, right? This wasn't for this isn't made for TV. We were just messing around, kind of making whatever we wanted to make day by day. But anyway, I've made a copy of this world, which I'll show you now. And I'm going to set up the most fun, interesting, and difficult riddle slash puzzle that I can come up with in this world for them to then solve on camera. And I have several principles that are going to guide that experience, but let's just start by doing a bit of a tour. First of all, here's a gate that doesn't really work because for those of you who may have played in Java, you know that while the up works on this redstone gate, no matter what we do, we cannot get the thing to go down all the way. So we're gonna start the stream off right off with just a failure, right? Here's the main gates. You see we've got one or two basic mods to give it a little bit of a visual pop, but it's nothing compared to what you can get on a PC, but that's fine. We do, we trial, we burden, we toil on, we keep on going. Got a little bit of I don't even know, what would you call this? A separating of ways, a road, a crossroads. That's the word I was looking for. I'll just start with something that my brother Peyton put together. I think you'll really see each of our individual styles and priorities as I show you these different things. So Peyton has built us a beautiful stable here. All sorts of horses. Beautiful and brilliant horses. I don't remember which one's the fastest. I think maybe Megan's the fastest. So this is Peyton's stable. Peyton is the youngest boy in the family. This is Peyton's castle. What on earth is that for? Like I said, this is not made for TV, right? We're just playing around. We've done what we've done. We have the joy. I'm gonna leave the horse section. We just have, whimsy in our hearts, and that's what we play from. We don't play for optimization. We don't play to look cool. So, I think you'll start to see, Peyton builds big structures pretty much exclusively. He definitely likes the high fantasy vibe. So here's Peyton's castle. It's massive. I think lots of opportunity for hidden puzzles and riddles throughout this thing. It's just huge. Just from a scale perspective, entirely too big. Enormous. Just tons of hiding holes. Will be truly great for some sort of maybe escape room style puzzle going on here. But yeah. What a castle. Okay, so that's some of Peyton's major contributions. Next, here's a greenhouse. I'm not sure if it's finished. It looks like it might be. That my girlfriend Lauren put together. As you can see, she oxidized all the copper herself. Which is to say, oh, definitely not finished. Which is to say that she covered the entirety of the realm with unoxidized copper instead of just going to a trial chamber and getting some. We only do organic here. We only do homegrown oxidized copper. It's kind of like one of our many standards with which we run our society by. That's one of her inventions. And then this other random little house over here is a new addition, which is my younger cousin Camden put together a bit of a house. Per usual, got your detail-oriented spaces and maybe your spaces that you're still trying to figure out what goes next. Whoa, how big is this? Okay, cannon's been working more than I realized. Oh, what is this, like halfway finished trapdoor? Okay, no, actually will be so fun to work with, because what we can do is, you know, take his unfinished work and then finish it. Like, oh shoot. Okay. Wait, is it finished? What exactly is the concept here? Okay, sorry, anyway. This is like Cousin Camden's pretty extensive underground tunnels that I didn't actually even know existed. I think there's lots of probably an aquarium. There's lots of opportunity to basically take what they have built themselves and know really well and kind of tweak it just enough that I don't. But he's not dead. Okay, so that's all that on that side of the crossroad. We'll briefly touch on this side. So then my youngest sibling, my sister Emma, is, I think, starting to build a Rapunzel tower here. And then has also built this, I believe, finished product. We'll find out. She has an affinity for animals, I'm sure you can tell. Each of these builds, right, like, I'm sure all of you that have played Minecraft or another, like, building game, like, you get very familiar with your own build because it takes so much of your time and effort, right? And it's so painstaking. And so what I can do basically is mess with their expectations by, you know, leaving things 95% the same, but then changing just enough that it kind of just like they will pass up details or miss details initially that might be helpful in a given clue or riddle because they're not expecting things to change, right? I'll give a better example of this as I walk along here and as we start actually building the riddle. But so that's all the like kind of outskirts stuff. I've kind of shown you Emma. That's most of what Emma's done. That's a lot of what Peyton's done, and that's all Camden's done. But then we'll move to the actual town. First, we'll go. I'll just briefly give you a tour of my brother Isaac. He's the middle child of the family. His house. He definitely has like the most concern for detail, as you'll see in what he's built. You know, he cares a lot about the small details, about the overall like cohesive aesthetic of things, which has been very helpful as we've built things. Pretty well reflected, I think, in his house. Actually, what he's really done for us is give us a lot of opportunity to mess with the details that he's left for us. Because, you know, like one of the things that I can probably pretty readily utilize, is kind of requiring them to go back to the original realm and look for differences in, what are you doing there? Looking for differences in details, you know, things that might have changed. I think that's a thing that we'll probably want to try and do to solve puzzles that are more difficult. And so I can be aware of that for one, but then also I can kind of play around with that idea and actually create it, make it, as opposed to resisting it or like avoiding it exclusively, I can kind of integrate it as part of the puzzles that I build. This is a failed attempt at an XP farm. I think it's supposed to, you're supposed to get XP every time you pull that. Okay, yeah, that's what it is, okay. Maybe just working out, that's cool. I will say, like, I'm probably dropping frames. I know that this is clean sometimes and sometimes it's not, but I'm just gonna, like, you know, again, I have this wonderful idea. I'm going to build a fun, interesting, complex puzzle, utilizing something that we've spent a ton of time building. And that's the idea that's driving me here. So I you know, if people watch this, like, I'll get the capture card, I'll get the Ethernet connector, eventually I'll get a gaming PC. But like for now, like, I'm going bare bones. The core concept, that's what we're focused on. If you like the idea and the frame rate pisses you off, then tell your friends to subscribe. Then I can actually afford things that will make this actually look good. So, okay, so here, as you can see, is our storage unit. Again, puzzle ideas are just flooding to me so quickly because, again, a place where we spend a lot of time, you feel like you know what's going on, but then like the order of things doesn't really, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for the order of things to matter. I mean, chests are really loud, aren't they? Anyway, lots of opportunities, I think, for puzzles here because, you know, you can mess with the order of things. Like, we could rename a weapon and hide it somewhere deep within, like, the enchanted bow chest, on and on, right? So many opportunities. You know, like items that we have not unlocked yet, I can stick in here and like have them recognize, oh wait, have we ever seen that before? Because honestly, like the way that me and my siblings play games is probably different than some other people. Like we're not really speedrunners. Like we're kind of completionists, most of us at least. And like we haven't even gone to the end yet. We've been playing, as you can see, for 2,100 in-game days, and we haven't even gone to the end yet. Like there's so much we haven't done because we just kind of take it like a step at a time. So that's the storage building. Now we're coming to the main square. We got a little well here. Oh gosh, that was so loud. The first building that was ever really built in this base is this little farm building right here. But it's fun little idea, you know. Putting crops kind of like, wait, does that say carrot? But those are not. But yeah, it's kind of changed use over time. It used to be storage room, mining facility, you know, everything, all of the above. But now it's just the farm building. To be honest, I don't know exactly what I would do with this. Onto like the main center plaza here, as you can see, big fountain. This building, which I did, I can't remember. I will share the YouTube. Honestly, I should share the YouTubers for that building, this building, and this building, and maybe I should probably grab the one for the greenhouse and the castle. I think both of those, so I should probably track those down and share those, and I will do so. So this is a big build that I made. I was looking for more like Italian villa vibe. Actually, I made this one first. And this one has turned into our enchanting building. Actually, our main hub, also our smithing. As you can see, second floor, some stuff, third floor, unfinished. But yeah, just to reiterate for the 10th time, like lots of hidey holes, lots of great places to put stuff that they would not expect, just because we've spent so much time in these buildings. Here's a bigger building. It currently houses all of our villagers, though we're coming up with a new solution for that I'll show you. Interior decoration done lovingly by Lauren. As you can see, lots of beds. But ultimately, like, you know, just a big building. I think I don't even think anyone comes up here, so this might be a great place to put something. Put like a major puzzle. The thing I'm like really trying to get out of a puzzle is those excited aha moments. And I think you can get them from a lot of places. But the very first place that my siblings are going to pull that excited feeling from is finding interesting things, right? So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to drop into this world, the world that they know pretty well. They're going to just start looking around, right? Looking for what's different, and also starting to rediscover places that they haven't been in a while in expectation of trying to find puzzles, right? And so the first aha moment is not going to be when they solve the first puzzle. The first aha moment, that first kick of dopamine that feels so good, is when they walk up here and they go, guys, there's something here, and they run up and there's a puzzle here. So I want to create those moments for sure and focus on creating those moments, creating dramatic, interesting, or exciting entrances into the mini puzzles that we build here. So that's a big thing I want to focus on with puzzles, because at the end of the day, again, everything we're trying to do is make as many of those excited aha moments as possible, which of course necessitates the difficulty of a puzzle, because if a puzzle isn't hard, it doesn't feel very good to solve, right? We're going to be thinking about that pretty much the whole time that we build these riddles. Little map system that my friend Anthony built. He's probably the only person in the server actively that's not officially part of the family. He's my good friend from high school and college and beyond. So you'll see some of his influence in here as well. But that's a map that he built. Train station here. Right now the station, we'll just do a little detour here. Right now the station only has one stop, which I will show you. There we go. Okay. You can see up there's Lauren's treehouse. It's really cool up there. We'll definitely put something up there in the future. So you can see the remnants of some of her oxidized copper. I will go up there in a second. There's Anthony's home. Actually, we'll just stop here. Oh, shoot. No. I'm in creative mode. I gotta quit. No. I didn't mean it. You know what? We'll leave it for now. Here's Anthony's house. It's got this beautiful view. Oh, you can't see it. We'll see it at sunlight. As you can see, Anthony also has quite the eye for utility-based details. He's probably played Minecraft more than any of the rest of us have. He's got a great little house. Like with a great view. I I don't know how to utilize cheats. I'm gonna have to learn. There's gonna be some learning curves for sure while I do this, because I don't really play creative that often. It usually doesn't have much. Like, I like building, but I like the difficulty of building practically. That's kind of like half the fun to me. Cool, okay. As you can see, he's got a great view. So that's Anthony's beautiful little snowy home. This is an idea that we saw on Instagram that Anthony built. This like snowball launching tower. Okay, maybe it doesn't work anymore. Anthony's got a pretty large mine. I'm not going to show y'all everything. There's a large mine shaft that goes all the way down here. Okay, let's continue. So continue to follow our rail. Got an old abandoned village. You know, you'll find you know the consequences of colonialism come out even in a game like Minecraft, where we're just we felt like we're innocent explorers taking only what we need, but at the end of the day, we lead entire infestations of zombies into these peaceful villages. We get everyone killed, and then we take their beds and their food, and we leave these relics of society. Once they've been stripped of resources, they're no longer useful to us. It's a poignant metaphor. And I think about it a lot. It's a little existential. We'll follow this railway, this one rail line that we currently have, and our pretty lacking overground metro system. The rest of this goes to an XP farm or a skeleton spawner in there, which there's no need to explore that presently. So that's the one train line we currently have. We had plans for a much more exhaustive line of trains, but I just think no one's been interested or excited in building that yet. But we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Now I'm going to take you to our newest project. The one I'm actually most excited about. So have any of y'all played the Mumbai map, Hitman 2 Mumbai map? I was just thinking about like what's something that would be really exciting to have to explore and build, and I was like, Mumbai would be so cool. And so as you can see, we have unfinished. This is unfinished, but we have spent hours and hours working on essentially a Mumbai vibe, right? So tall terracotta buildings with really like claustrophobic streets, lots of rooftops that kind of connect to one another. And I'm really proud of what we've done so far, and I'm really excited for what it will look like when it's finished. So I won't show you every building, but like, as you can see, we've put together dozens of buildings. We've really started to create this kind of like vibe. I largely charged by Isaac with like this stone flooring that's like kind of cobbled together. We've got potholes, we've got plants, we've got overhangs. Again, it's far from being done, but I think the core concept is starting to shine through. Really excited about what this will look like eventually, but that's not really what this video is about. This video is about taking all of our hard work and using it to torture my friends and family, right? So as you can see, like a lot of these buildings kind of connect to one another. You got this building, right? It's a building in its own right, but it comes over, to this little area, goes back down into this house, which is a whole new house. Comes up here, you got a little outdoor patio leading to another building, and then you've got this patio on top of this rooftop, which leads to this patio, which goes all the way back down to the original building, right? I just love, like, this is how Hitman's Mumbai kind of felt to me. Like, every building was connected to every other building, but still had some like distinct, like, quote unquote property lines, and I just love that feeling, and I wanted to recreate it here in Minecraft, and luckily my siblings are appeasing me in that. I think the final couple of major touch points of our area, one is Anthony's lighthouse. It is freaking huge. This is going to be a great spot to put some sort of like beginning of a puzzle, right? Like, just so epic and dramatic to come all the way up. Well, let me just show you. You come all the way up these stairs, then you go up a ladder, up a ladder. Right, you do all this work, like, I wonder if there's a puzzle at the top of the lighthouse, and then boom, there is a puzzle, right? Also a lot to work with like what you can see, like sightlines from this lighthouse. Like, I can imagine putting references to different like visual indicators around the map. So that's the lighthouse, pretty sick. Here's like the second build I think I ever did, was this dock. It's since been blown up by about 100 creepers, as you can see. But I think a good little point of interest, be fun to put something here. Yeah, okay. I think I've shown you everything. Except for like there's a wall. We built a wall around like maybe 90% of the city at this point. Because again, obviously as colonizers, we have to protect the land that we found and then stole. Eventually idea is to have like a waterfall and a cave here, but that's obviously unfinished. The gatehouse where we started, wall up and around Emma's massive house. And then it cuts off here because I think I wasn't sure. I think we wanted to do another waterfall, but that was also unfinished. So, oh, let me just show you the treehouse since we're here. Okay. Cute little treehouse. Lots of cool, again, details that I can mess with to create puzzles. So yeah, that is the realm as it stands. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, shoot. One more important component. Nether, as you know, Nether, the Nether be Netherin. Probably my proudest achievement is I've built something of a subway station. So for those of you that don't know, I think it's like every block. Oh, what's the number? Is it 12? Every block in the Nether is worth 12 blocks above land or something like that, or in the normal world. Essentially, I've built a subway system allowing us to travel a lot further, a lot faster. I think the best one to show you is probably this one. Okay. So as you can see, basically every 250 blocks underground, we have a portal to the overworld, right? Essentially popping us out much further than we traveled. We traveled 250, but we went almost 2,000. That's kind of allowed us to get to a bunch of biomes and places that we couldn't easily reach otherwise, right? So I'll just take you to 500 because I think this is the other place with a significant build. But yeah, I'm gonna say this again just so I don't have to worry about it in my own head anymore. But yeah, like there's gonna be choppy. You're gonna lose frames. It's gonna be choppy at times. I'm sorry about that. But again, like doing this on a wing and a prayer because the idea is so good, and we'll mess with the technology as we have the proof that this is worth investing in the technology. Let's put it that way. Because this is an idea that I want to do no matter what. Final major build we got going on here. Out here in the swamp, as some of you may know, Minecraft decided that trapping villagers in 1x1 blocks and forcing them all to be librarians until you get the optimal set of enchanted books was not, it was too easy. And so now librarian villagers books, enchanted books that they offer for you change by biome, which I actually don't think he's up here, but so we went all the way out here, we found a swamp biome, we dragged a villager to the swamp biome, and we've basically built a tower for him to live his, oh, he is up here, wow. Why ain't that just the way? Because he's out here all alone. Kind of like the old wizard, kind of the vibe that we're going for here. But as you can see, we've got this major tower that Isaac built to hold our villagers so that we can get books of mending, because it is just annoying to play this game if you don't have easy access to a book of mending or too many books of mending, especially when you've got like 9 people in the realm. You definitely want about 100 books of mending. And sure, you could fish for 20 hours, or you could just trap a guy in a tower like Rapunzel and trade him emeralds that he could never spend for books that I don't know how he writes. Anyway, I think that tower is a phenomenal place to put a puzzle, especially because for a while I think they're going to be focused on the core base. I think that's pretty much the end of the tour. I mean, there's lots of little other things that we might come across as we begin to build this riddle, but I think at this point the best thing to do is to flip over to planning. We just need a rough meta idea of what this is going to look like and probably where it's going to go, right?